Honda's making some big waves over in Europe with its CB Hornet series. Now, for some reason, Honda has not brought these motorcycles into America quite yet. We can get our hopes up. And today we're going to pull up the spreadsheet to show what kind of damage this vehicle, this motorcycle, would be doing in the United States market if the Hornet 1000 and 750 were available. Guys, if you would like Honda to bring in the Hornet 750 and 1000 into America, smash the heck out of that like button. We can pray to the gods of Mount Fuji over in Japan that Honda brings these incredibly potent and price competitive motorcycles into our market. I am inspired to make this video because of the things I've been reading about it. And the most recent article over at Cycle World is just it's tough because it's a bit of a obviously forbidden fruit in America. And they typically talk about specs in the beginning of the reviews, engine performance, weight, the new technology in the bike. No. They're like, no, we're starting off with the price, because what Honda's able to do with the pricing of these motorcycles is it just doesn't make sense how well, it does, because the economies of scale. Honda's such a large manufacturer, and they're getting to the point where they're able to really reduce prices over sheer volume and platform sharing. What's going on with the Hornet is the price. The price to performance is out of this world. I would be largely interested in both of these motorcycles if they came to America. All right. Even though right now my interest is more focused on classic styled motorcycles or retro classic style motorcycles. We could hope that Honda could do a Kawasaki or a Yamaha with the XSR, or the what is it, Z900 RS? Is that what it is? The retro design variant of that bike. If Honda could do that with this, oh my gosh, I don't think I would not be able to buy it if they retro styled these motorcycles. But 155 horsepower at 10,000 British pounds. But you can get the base model that still has 150 horsepower at 9,000 British pounds. Now, the CB1000 SP also has an Olin shock in the back, where I'll show a picture of it right here in spring. It has a quick shifter, and those are the two big upgrades for it. All of them get a 5-inch screen. It doesn't have lean-sensitive ABS, and that's where the competition, whether it's a Z900 or a, let's say, an MT-09, they would have slightly better technology here. But the motor, guys, the motor on this buries the competition. The Suzuki GSX S1000 that has similar to performance, but it's priced almost $2,000 more than this bike. Oh, also the SP gets Brimbos, which, guys, it's only 1,000 pounds more. You get an Olin's rear shock, Brembo brakes, and a quick shifter. Who would be buying the standard model? Maybe if you're going to track it, but how many people are tracking these bikes? I know they're very, very capable, but let me know if you would rather have fairings. It's very Hornet looking. It's got the sharp tail. I still would prefer the circular headlights of the, the older Hornet models, more of a neo-retro design, because it kind of looks like every other naked Japanese motorcycle right now. And it doesn't look great, but it sure looks better than the CB750. Now, the CB750 is, damn, this thing's ugly. But if it was available in America, it would be selling quite well. It would compete and outcompete, should I say, the GSX 8S and the MT-07. Honda desperately needs this engine and more products in America. This 270 crank parallel twin with around 90 horsepower, gobs of torque. It really outperforms the competition. But the only way we get it in America right now is in the Transalp. We're going to try to tackle the price today. This motorcycle is, if it comes to the United States, and I don't see why it wouldn't, but we don't know. We can't just straight up convert British pounds to US dollars. We could, but I don't think that's going to be accurate for the pricing. So we're going to head to the spreadsheet and we're going to take a look at some other bikes available in both UK and the same tiers for both of these motorcycles, and try to come upon a logical conclusion about where these motorcycles, the Hornet 750 and the 1000, where would they be priced when they make it to America. Well, if we look at the Z900, it's more expensive if you look dollars per pounds. But if you look at the GSX-S, it's actually 300 pounds more expensive versus the dollar. Okay. Now, this is not, again, these numbers here are what they sell for in their current markets. Okay. Well, the CB650R, CB650R, I don't know if it's available in much of Europe anymore. I know for sure the CBR650R is, but that costs a little bit more since it has fairings. And they have the E-clutch now as an option. In America, I think the E-clutch is standard on those motorcycles. I think. I could be wrong. All right. I included the Suzuki models in here, the Yamaha models. I don't know why I didn't. All right, I think that worked. I need to put both the Yamaha models in yellow there. So let's take a stab at the price. And let's start with the Hornet 750. And yes, I have a tier grade here. All right, so the Hornet 750 fetches a pretty high price over in Europe, which is crazy because I have the Hornet 1000 here. SP, but it actually starts at 9,000 pounds. Okay, so the Hornet 750 only starts, 360 pounds less than the Hornet 1000? That, I just don't understand why the Hornet 750 is priced so high. Okay, I don't think they could fetch this price here in America. We'll see. All right, so if we look at the SV650, it's more expensive in dollars than pounds. If you look at, let's see, what else is a competitor to this? Kind of the GSX-8S. It's very similar. It's just a little bit more. All right. If we look at the MT-07, it's quite a bit more dollars per pounds there. And then, so I'm just going to say this bike, I can't see it fetching much higher of a price than this. I'm going to say it's going to be about $8,500. It's a little bit lower. Could be wrong. I would like to see what you guys think down below. I think it's going to be about $8,500 for that motorcycle because it's got to compete with the SV650. It's got to compete with the MT-07. It's got to compete with the GSX-8S. So it's got to be between $8,000 and $9,000. But the closer you get to $9,000, like it's not a very good deal. And in America, we have no license like tiers. We don't have A2 license or A3, anything like that. All right. So as soon as you get your motorcycle endorsement, as long as you have the money, you can buy whatever you want. You're going to have to insure it though, and that's going to be very pricey. What kind of price could the Hornet 1000 have? Now, this is the SP model. I don't know if the SP and non-SP would be both would be available in America. I would assume they would. Look at the MT-09 that has the SP as well. And then if you look at the Z900, isn't there a KRT edition of that or something, which costs a little bit more? But if we look at its biggest competitor, Z900 goes up 800 pounds. If we look at the GSX S1000, it goes down 300 pounds. MT-09 is up about $600, $700, something like that. I think it'll be priced around $10,500 for the SP and maybe $9,500 for the non-SP. That's just a complete guess. But could they price it at $9,500 and undercut the Z900? They could, and they would absolutely shatter the industry, regardless of what this comes in at. All right, it's destroying the competition in my my calculations here at the overall rank. Let's say it comes in. Let's say it comes in at 11,000. Let's say it comes in at 12,500 for the SP. It still ranks above the Z900 in my calculations. That is incredible. All right. So regardless of what they price it at, it should be able to come into the market here and be very competitive. But if they price it as aggressive as they do in the UK, it could break and really disrupt the industry massively. Now, Europe has a little bit more competition, if I remember correctly. I think their European models have more brand strength over there, like BMW. You have your KTM, you have Aprilia, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch of others, like Triumph as well. Those are great nakeds. I should have put Triumph in here, but I just have the Japanese makes and models in here because I think what the Street Triple would compete here, but the Street Triple is more like an MT-09 sort of bike with a triple cylinder, 116 horsepower. It wouldn't come close to besting the Hornet 1000. What about the Speed Triple? There's a Speed Triple as well, and that costs significantly more money. Significantly more money. So the Street Triple is priced, it'll be priced very similar to the Hornet 1000, and the Speed Triple competes more directly, but is going to cost like $7,000 more, something like that, than the Hornet 1000 when it makes it to America, if it makes it to America. All right. So the Hornet 750 is outperforming and outcompeting, assuming it comes in at this price, $8,500. It's outdoing the SV650. The thing is, the Hornet 750 is hideous. If this bike looked and just had a circular headlight, if it just had a circular headlight instead of this weird insect crap up front, it would look, it would probably potentially sway me. There's something about that V-twin on the SV that's very appealing. But man, it would just compete a lot better if it just didn't look so ridiculous. The CB1000 though definitely looks better than the CB750. Get a little tail tidy here, and yes, it looks very Hornety in the back with a stinger. This thing's just going to be an absolute menace when it makes it to the United States, and it should. The question is, what's Honda going to do with the CB650? They might just keep the CB650 4-cylinder around and keep the Hornet 750 out. It's a possibility. All right, that's a possibility. I think the CB650R is a much better looking bike than the Hornet 750, but you know, it costs a lot of money. That's the thing. Like, I guarantee the CB650R would cost more than the CB750 if both of them were in our market. And with how the CB650R is priced, it's just not competitive against the Z900 or potential Hornet 1000. So if they discontinue the CB650R, I think they would do it for the Hornet 1000. I know it's a different segment, but it's a 4-cylinder, and they would be priced awfully similar, I would think. But time will tell. So anyways, let me know how badly you would like to have a Hornet 1000 SP, non-SP. Let me know how badly you would like to have the Hornet 750. And for me, if these bikes were retro styled, yes, I'm a sucker for that right now. Everyone has different likes and dislikes. Instead of this futuristic Transformer insect sort of design, if it was retro styled, like a Z900 RS. Let's go and look at images. If it looked more like this, I'd be dropping my pants. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. Probably not. But this thing is just a gorgeous bike. I love the bubble screen as well. I forget exactly what Cafe Racer sort of screen. I forget what it's called. The front fairing around the light. Anyways, it's just a beautiful bike. And if Honda can make a neo-retro design around the Hornet 1000, I would spend $500 to $1,000 more. I think that would be a fair price over the standard model. But gosh, I wish they could do that. I'm going to shut it down there. Also, remember, Honda is working on a CB500 potentially for our market. Remember, they trademarked that for our market, a CB500. So I just hope it doesn't have the 471 180 crank parallel twin that we currently have on the so many 500 class motorcycles from Honda. That motor is a snooze fest. That being said, I got to shut down there. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you think about my spreadsheet and classifying these motorcycles I have on here. Catch you in the next one. Peace. Honda, bring these motorcycles here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you in advance.